I never thought my husband would try to erase me from my own life. But standing here, watching him through these security cameras, I finally understand. He didn't just want me gone. He wanted me declared insane so he could take everything. My children, my house, my inheritance. And he almost succeeded. My name is Sarah, and this is the story of how my husband drugged me, gaslit me, and tried to have me institutionalized so he could replace me with our nanny. But what he didn't know was that I'm a software engineer, and I never lose access to my own systems. Let me take you back to 3 hours ago. I'm standing in my bedroom, the room where I gave birth to my children in my mind 1,000 times, packing a suitcase with trembling hands. My vision is blurry. My head feels like it's filled with cotton. I can barely remember what day it is. James, my husband, is standing in the doorway. His arms are crossed. His face shows that perfect mask of concern he's been wearing for months. The concerned husband, the devoted father, the man who just wants to help his troubled wife. "Sarah, this is for your own good," he says, his voice dripping with false sympathy. "The psychiatric facility Dr. Morrison recommended is the best in the state. You need professional help. You've been forgetting things, leaving the stove on. You nearly let our daughter wander into the street last week." I want to scream. I want to tell him I don't remember any of that. But my tongue feels thick. The room spins. I grab the dresser to steady myself. "Emily will take excellent care of the children while you're getting treatment," he continues. "She's been wonderful these past few months. The kids already love her. Maybe even more than—" He stops himself. But I hear what he doesn't say. "More than they love you." Emily appears behind him. Our 23-year-old nanny. Perfect smile, perfect figure, perfect everything. She's wearing my favorite cardigan, the cashmere one my mother gave me before she died. "Oh, Sarah," Emily coos, stepping forward. "We're going to miss you so much, but James is right. You need help. And don't worry about a thing. I'll make sure your babies are well taken care of." Your babies, not our babies, not the babies. Your babies. Like they're already mine. I zip up my suitcase. Every movement feels like I'm moving through water. James takes the bag from my hand. Our fingers touch. He pulls away quickly, like I'm contagious. The Uber is waiting outside. At least, that's what they think. James walks me to the door. "I've already called Dr. Morrison. They're expecting you. Emily has my power of attorney to make medical decisions if you have another episode." Another episode. That's what he calls it when I collapse in the middle of the day. When I can't remember entire conversations. When I wake up at 3 in the afternoon with no memory of the morning. I step outside, the door closes behind me, and through the frosted glass, I see it. James immediately pulls Emily into his arms. His hand slides down her back. She giggles. He kisses her neck. And then I hear his voice, muffled but clear. "Finally, the crazy bitch is gone. The house is ours, baby, just like we planned." They laugh. They actually laugh. But here's what James doesn't know. I didn't get into that Uber. The moment it pulled up, I sent it away and walked to my car parked around the corner, the car James thinks is in the shop. And here's what else James doesn't know. Those security cameras he thinks he disabled last week. I'm the administrator. I set up the whole system. And I still have access to every single feed. I sit in my car now, laptop open, watching my husband and our nanny celebrate my departure, watching them move through my house like they own it, watching Emily pick up my daughter and whisper something in her ear that makes my baby laugh. My hands have stopped shaking. For the first time in months, my head feels clear. Because for the first time in months, I didn't drink the green smoothie James makes me every single morning. And suddenly, everything makes sense. If this story is hitting close to home, or if you want to see how Sarah takes back her life, hit that subscribe button right now, because what happens next is going to blow your mind. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. 6 months ago, I was a different person. I was Sarah Mitchell, senior software engineer at TechVision Systems. I was the mother who made dinosaur-shaped pancakes every Sunday. I was the woman who ran 5 miles every morning before anyone else in the house woke up. I was organized, I was sharp, I was alive. My husband James worked in finance, investment banking, The kind of job where you wear expensive suits and talk about portfolios and quarterly returns. We lived in a beautiful 4-bedroom house in the suburbs. We had 2 children, Emma, who was 5, and Oliver, who was 2. We had a dog named Baxter. We had everything. Or at least, that's what I thought. It started small. Little things I couldn't quite explain. One morning, I woke up at noon. Noon. I never slept past 6:30 in my entire adult life. James was standing over me, holding Oliver on his hip. Emma was peeking around the doorframe. "Sarah, honey, are you okay?" His voice was worried, concerned. "You've been asleep for 16 hours. I sat up, confused. "What?" "No, I went to bed at 10. That's only 2 hours. "Sarah, it's 12:15. In the afternoon. I've been calling you all morning. The kids needed breakfast. I had to cancel my morning meeting." I looked at my phone. He was right. 12:15 p.m. But it was impossible. I felt like I had just closed my eyes. I don't understand," I said. My head felt heavy. Foggy. James sat on the edge of the bed. He put his hand on my forehead. "You feel warm? Maybe you're coming down with something. Why don't you rest today? I'll work from home." I wanted to argue. I had a presentation at work, a big one, but I could barely keep my eyes open. So I nodded, and I went back to sleep. That was the first time. The second time was worse. I was driving Emma to kindergarten. We were singing along to her favorite song, the one about the wheels on the bus. And then, nothing. The next thing I remember, I was sitting in my car in our driveway. The engine was off. Emma was crying in the back seat. "Mommy, why did we come home? I'm going to be late for school." I turned around, disoriented. "What? We didn't go to school yet." "Yes, we did, Mommy. We went to school and then you picked me up and brought me home, but then you just sat here and you wouldn't talk to me." I checked my phone. It was 1:30 in the afternoon. I had lost 5 hours. 5 entire hours. And I had no memory of any of it. James came out of the house. He opened Emma's door and unbuckled her. "It's okay, sweetie. Mommy's just not feeling well. Let's get you a snack." He turned to me. "Sarah, you need to see a doctor. This isn't normal." I started crying. I don't know what's happening to me. I don't remember driving her to school. I don't remember picking her up. I don't remember anything. "Shh," he said, pulling me into a hug. "It's going to be okay. We'll figure this out. I'll make you an appointment with Dr. Morrison. He's the best psychiatrist in the city." Psychiatrist. Not a neurologist. Not a regular doctor. A psychiatrist. "James, I don't think this is a mental health issue. Something is physically wrong. Honey, memory loss, excessive sleeping, confusion, these are classic signs of depression. Or maybe early onset dementia. We need to take this seriously." Dementia. I was 31 years old, but I agreed to see Dr. Morrison. Because what else could I do? I was scared. I was losing time. I was losing myself. Dr. Morrison was exactly what you'd picture. Graybeard, leather chairs, diplomas on the wall. He asked me questions about my childhood, about my relationship with my mother, about stress at work. "Sarah, I think you're experiencing a severe dissociative disorder," he said after our third session. "Your mind is protecting itself from something traumatic by shutting down. The memory gaps, the excessive sleep, these are defense mechanisms. But I'm not traumatized. My life is good. I love my family. I love my job. Trauma isn't always obvious. Sometimes it's buried deep. I'm going to prescribe you something to help with the anxiety. And I want you to consider taking some time off work. Reducing stress is crucial." He handed me a prescription, lorazepam, for anxiety. I filled it, I took it, and I got worse. The incidents became more frequent. I would lose entire days. I stopped going to work altogether. My boss called, concerned. I told her I was on medical leave. She said my position would be waiting for me when I was ready. But I was never ready. I was never awake. James became my caretaker. He would bring me meals in bed. He would help me shower. He would tuck me in at night. And every morning, he would bring me a green smoothie. "Drink up, honey," he would say. "It's packed with vitamins, spinach, kale, spirulina, banana. It'll help you get your energy back." It tasted bitter, chalky, but I drank it every single day because I trusted him, because he was my husband, because he was trying to help me. Except he wasn't helping me. He was destroying me. It was around this time that Emily entered our lives. James came home one day with a young woman. She was pretty, blonde, energetic, everything I wasn't anymore. "Sarah, this is Emily. She's going to help us out around the house, with the kids, just until you're feeling better." I was lying on the couch in my pajamas. I hadn't showered in 3 days. I could barely lift my head. "Hi, Sarah," Emily said, her voice bright and cheerful. "James has told me so much about you. Don't worry about a thing. I'm here to make everything easier." She immediately started tidying up, folding blankets, picking up toys. She took Oliver from James's arms and bounced him on her hip. He giggled. He never giggled like that with me anymore. "She's a graduate student," James explained. "Child development. She has amazing references, and she lives just 10 minutes away." Emily became a fixture in our house. She was there when I woke up. She was there when I went to sleep. She cooked meals. She did laundry. She read bedtime stories to Emma. She taught Oliver his colors. And slowly, quietly, she started replacing me. I would wake up in the afternoon and find that she had rearranged my kitchen. "I hope you don't mind," she'd say sweetly. "I just thought it would be more efficient this way." She bought new curtains for the living room. "James said you wouldn't mind. The old ones were so dark and dreary." She started wearing my clothes. "Oh, I spilled juice on my shirt and James said I could borrow something of yours. This cardigan is so soft." And James was different around her. He smiled more, he laughed more. He would touch her shoulder when he passed her in the hallway. He would thank her constantly. "I don't know what we'd do without you, Emily. You're a lifesaver, Emily. The kids are so much happier since you've been here, Emily." I tried to tell him I was uncomfortable, that I didn't like how close they seemed, but he just looked at me with pity. "Sarah, Emily is helping us. She's helping you. You're not well enough to take care of the children right now. Would you rather they be neglected?" So I stayed quiet, because he was right. I couldn't take care of them. I could barely take care of myself. But then things started getting worse. I began finding things in strange places. My car keys in the refrigerator, my phone in the bathroom cabinet, my wedding ring in Emma's toy box. "You must have put them there during one of your episodes," James would say. But I didn't remember moving them. I didn't remember anything. One day, I woke up to fire alarms screaming. I stumbled downstairs to find smoke pouring from the kitchen. The stove was on. A dish towel had caught fire. James ran in with a fire extinguisher. Emily grabbed the kids and took them outside. When the smoke cleared, James turned to me. "Sarah, you left the stove on. You could have killed us all." "I didn't cook anything. I was asleep." "You must have. You were the only one home." Emily and I took the kids to the park. When we came back, the house was full of smoke. But I didn't remember being alone. I didn't remember cooking. I didn't remember anything. That night, I heard James on the phone in his office. I stood outside the door, listening. "Yes, Dr. Morrison. It's getting dangerous. Today she nearly burned the house down. I don't think I can keep her at home much longer. Yes, the facility you mentioned. How long would she need to stay? 6 months minimum? And the children. I understand. For their safety. Yes, I'll start the paperwork." My blood ran cold. He was planning to send me away, to lock me up. I confronted him the next morning. "I heard you on the phone. You're trying to institutionalize me." He didn't even try to deny it. "Sarah, you're a danger to yourself and to our children. Dr. Morrison agrees. This is the best option." "I'm not crazy." No one said you're crazy. You're sick. And you need intensive treatment. Treatment I can't provide at home. What about the kids? What about Emma and Oliver? Emily has agreed to move in. Temporarily, just until you're well enough to come home. Emily, of course. Emily would move into my house, sleep in my bed, raise my children, and I would be gone, locked away, drugged, forgotten, unless I could prove what was really happening. That's when I made my decision. I would pretend to comply. I would pack my bags. I would get in the Uber. But I wouldn't go to the facility. I would disappear. And I would find out the truth. Because somewhere deep inside, beneath the fog and the confusion, I knew. I knew James was lying. I knew Emily wasn't what she seemed. I knew something was very, very wrong. And I was going to prove it. I'm sitting in my car, 2 blocks from my house, staring at my laptop screen. My hands are steady for the first time in months. My mind is clear, crystal clear. And I finally understand why. That green smoothie, that bitter, chalky green smoothie James made me every single morning. I didn't drink it today. For the first time in 6 months, I skipped it. I poured it down the sink when James wasn't looking, right before I pretended to pack for the psychiatric facility. And now, just 4 hours later, the fog is lifting. The exhaustion is fading. I can think again, which means only one thing. James has been drugging me. My husband has been poisoning me. Systematically, deliberately, every single day for 6 months. I feel sick. Not from the drugs, but from the realization, the man I married, the man I trusted with my life, with my children's lives, he's been destroying me from the inside. But why? I click through the security camera feeds. There are 8 cameras throughout the house. Living room, kitchen, both children's bedrooms, the master bedroom, the hallway, the front entrance, and the backyard. I installed them myself 2 years ago after a string of break-ins in the neighborhood. James thought it was overkill. Now I know why. On the screen, I watch James and Emily in my living room. He's pouring 2 glasses of champagne. Champagne. At 2 in the afternoon. To us, James says, raising his glass. And to finally being free of that pathetic woman. Emily laughs. She's sitting on my couch, wearing my clothes, drinking from my glasses. I still can't believe how easy it was, all those months of playing the concerned nanny. God, she was so stupid. She actually believed she was going crazy. The Rohypnol in her morning smoothies helped, James says. Along with the Ambien I crushed into her evening tea. She never suspected a thing. Rohypnol. The date rape drug. He's been giving me roofies every single day. I feel my stomach turn, but I keep watching. I need to hear everything. How much longer until the commitment papers go through? Emily asks. Dr. Morrison said the psychiatric hold is automatic once she's admitted, then we file for permanent guardianship. With her history of erratic behavior, memory loss, and endangering the children, no judge will question it. And then we wait. 6 months, maybe a year. We keep her doped up in the facility. Eventually, we file for divorce on grounds of mental incompetence. I get full custody. I get the house. And most importantly, I get access to her trust fund. My trust fund. The $2 million my parents left me when they died. The money that's in my name only. The money James can't touch unless I'm declared legally incompetent. That's what this is about. Money. He's been systematically destroying my life for money. What about the kids? Emily asks. Do they suspect anything? James shrugs. Emma asks about her mother sometimes, but we've been telling her that mommy is sick, that mommy isn't safe. She's already starting to prefer you, and Oliver is too young to remember Sarah in a few months. They're not just taking my money. They're taking my children. They're erasing me from my own family. Emily stands up and walks over to James. She wraps her arms around his neck. And then what? We get married? He kisses her. We can do whatever we want. We'll have the house, the money, the kids. And Sarah will be locked up in a padded room for the rest of her life. They laugh. They actually laugh about destroying my entire existence. I close my laptop before I throw it through the windshield. My hands are shaking again. But this time, it's not from drugs. It's from rage. I need proof. Evidence that will hold up in court. The security footage is a start, but I need more. I need medical evidence. I drive to my sister Rachel's house. Rachel, who lives 30 minutes away. Rachel, who called me twice a week for months asking if I was okay. Rachel, who I barely responded to because I was too drugged to form coherent sentences. I knock on her door. When she opens it, her face goes white. Sarah? Oh my God. James said you were at a psychiatric facility. He said you had a breakdown. Can I come in? I'll explain everything. An hour later, Rachel is pacing her living room, furious. That son of a bitch. I knew something was wrong. You've been acting strange for months, but James kept saying you were just stressed. I should have pushed harder. I should have done something. It's not your fault, I say. He's been planning this carefully, making sure everyone believed I was mentally unstable. What do you need? First, I need a toxicology test. I need proof of what he's been putting in my system. Then I need a lawyer. A good one. Someone who specializes in family law and criminal defense. Rachel nods. I know someone. Catherine Chen. She's a shark. If anyone can help you, it's her. We go to an urgent care clinic. I explain to the doctor that I suspect I've been drugged. He's skeptical at first, but when I tell him my symptoms and the timeline, he agrees to run a comprehensive toxicology panel. It'll take 24 hours for the full results, he says. But we can run a preliminary screen now. 30 minutes later, he comes back into the exam room. His face is grim. Mrs. Mitchell, you have extremely elevated levels of flunitrazepam in your system. That's the generic name for Rohypnol. You also have traces of zolpidem, which is Ambien, and lorazepam, which is Ativan. The levels are consistent with chronic, daily dosing over an extended period. Is that enough to cause memory loss, confusion, excessive sleeping? Absolutely. In fact, I'm surprised you're functioning at all with these levels. Long-term use of these drugs in combination can cause severe cognitive impairment, memory loss, motor skill deterioration, and even permanent brain damage. Mrs. Mitchell, these are serious controlled substances. How did you obtain them? I didn't. My husband has been giving them to me without my knowledge. His expression changes. That's poisoning. That's attempted murder. You need to contact the police immediately. I will. But first, I need that toxicology report in writing. And I need you to document my symptoms, my timeline, everything. He nods. I'll have it ready by tomorrow morning. And Mrs. Mitchell, be careful. If your husband realizes you know what he's doing, I know. I'm staying with my sister. He doesn't know I'm here. Back at Rachel's house, I set up my laptop and start downloading every single video file from the security cameras. Hours and hours of footage. I organize them by date. I create a timeline. June 15th. First green smoothie. I'm awake and alert in the morning. 2 hours after drinking it, I'm unconscious on the couch. June 22nd. James crushes white pills into my evening tea when he thinks I'm not looking. July 3rd. Emily moves in. She immediately takes over my routines with the children. July 18th. I wake up in my car with no memory of the previous 5 hours. James is the one who found me. August 2nd. The kitchen fire. Except when I review the footage, I see something I didn't notice before. I'm asleep upstairs. Emily is in the kitchen. She turns on the stove. She puts a dish towel near the burner. She leaves the room. Then she and James take the kids to the park. When they come back 30 minutes later, the house is full of smoke, and they both act shocked. They staged it. They staged the fire to make me look dangerous. I keep watching. I keep documenting. And the evidence piles up. August 15th. James meets with Dr. Morrison at a coffee shop. I watch them through the shop's security camera, which I can access because it's part of the same smart city network I helped install for the municipality. I can't hear what they're saying, but I see James slide an envelope across the table. Dr. Morrison opens it. It's full of cash. $50 bills. A lot of them. He's been bribing my psychiatrist. Dr. Morrison has been falsifying my mental health records in exchange for money. August 29th. Emily is in Emma's room at bedtime. I turn up the volume on the nursery camera. "Where's Mommy?" Emma asks. "Mommy is sick, sweetie. She's not safe anymore. But don't worry. I'm going to be your new mommy. Would you like that?" "I want my real mommy." "Your real mommy doesn't love you anymore. She tried to hurt you. That's why we have to send her away. But I love you. I'll always keep you safe." My 5-year-old daughter. They're brainwashing my 5-year-old daughter. I watch video after video, and I see the pattern, the systematic destruction of my life, the gaslighting, the poisoning, the manipulation, the theft. It's not just criminal, it's evil. By the time I'm done, it's 3 in the morning. I have over 40 hours of video evidence. I have medical documentation. I have a timeline. I have proof. But I need more than proof. I need revenge. I call Catherine Chen, the lawyer Rachel recommended. She agrees to meet me the next morning. Catherine's office is downtown. Glass and steel. She's in her 40s, perfectly dressed, perfectly composed. She listens to my entire story without interrupting. When I'm done, she leans back in her chair. "Mrs. Mitchell, this is one of the most egregious cases of spousal abuse I've ever encountered. With the evidence you have, we can file criminal charges for poisoning, fraud, conspiracy, child endangerment, and possibly attempted murder. We can also file for an emergency custody order and a restraining order. How long will it take? With this much evidence, we can have James arrested within 48 hours. The custody hearing can be expedited to within a week. What about Dr. Morrison and Emily? They're accomplices. They'll be charged as well. Dr. Morrison will lose his medical license and face criminal prosecution for falsifying medical records and accepting bribes. Emily will be charged with conspiracy, fraud, and child endangerment." I smile. For the first time in 6 months, I smile. A real smile. "There's one more thing," I say. "I don't just want them arrested. I want them to suffer, the way they made me suffer. I want them to feel what it's like to lose their minds, to question their reality, to be terrified." Catherine raises an eyebrow. "Mrs. Mitchell, I'm a lawyer, not a vigilante. I'm not asking you to do anything illegal. I'm just saying that it would be a shame if, before we file the charges, my husband and his mistress experienced a few unfortunate incidents. Nothing dangerous, nothing permanent, just enough to make them paranoid, to make them turn on each other." She studies me for a long moment. Then she smiles. "I didn't hear that. But hypothetically, if someone were to, say, access their smart home system and create some atmospheric disturbances, I would advise that person to be very careful not to leave any digital fingerprints. Hypothetically, that person is a software engineer who knows exactly how to cover her tracks. Then hypothetically, I'll file the paperwork to be ready in 72 hours. That should give this hypothetical person enough time." I shake her hand. "Thank you, Catherine." "Don't thank me yet. Thank me when we put those monsters behind bars." I leave her office with a plan, a detailed, methodical, beautiful plan. James and Emily wanted to make me crazy. They wanted to make me question reality. They wanted to gaslight me until I broke. Now it's my turn. For the next 72 hours, I'm going to haunt them. I'm going to make them believe they're losing their minds. I'm going to turn their perfect little scheme into a nightmare. And when they're broken, when they're paranoid, when they're desperate, that's when I'll destroy them. I go back to Rachel's house and open my laptop. The smart home system I installed in our house controls everything. Lights, temperature, door locks, music, even the voice assistant. And I still have complete administrative access. Let the games begin. Night 1, 10 p.m. I'm sitting in Rachel's guest room with my laptop open, 3 monitors connected, and a cup of coffee that's already cold. On the screens in front of me, I can see every room in my house. My house that's no longer mine. My house where my husband and his mistress are celebrating their victory. James and Emily are in the master bedroom. My bedroom. They're in my bed. She's wearing my silk nightgown, the one James gave me for our anniversary 3 years ago. I watch them laugh. I watch them kiss. I watch them talk about their future. Our future. The one they stole from me. But they have no idea that the woman they thought they destroyed is watching. Waiting. Planning. I pull up the smart home control panel. Every device in that house is connected. Every light, every speaker, every lock, every thermostat, and I control all of it. I start small, a test run. I dim the bedroom lights, just slightly, barely noticeable. Emily looks up. Did the light just flicker? It's an old house, James says, not even looking. The wiring is probably just settling. I smile. He has no idea how new the wiring is, how perfectly functional everything is. I wait 5 minutes. Then I make the lights flicker again. Longer this time. James, seriously. Something's wrong with the lights. He sighs and gets up. He flips the light switch off and on. Everything works perfectly. See? It's fine. You're just tired. Just tired. The same thing he told me for 6 months. I let them settle back into bed. I wait until they're almost asleep. And then I turn on the baby monitor in Oliver's room. Full volume. Through the speaker system, I play a recording I made months ago, my voice, singing a lullaby to Oliver. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. Emily sits bolt upright. What the hell was that? James is already out of bed, running down the hall to Oliver's room. I watch him on the camera. He bursts through the door. Oliver is sound asleep. The monitor is off. He stands there, confused. He checks the device. He unplugs it and plugs it back in. Nothing. He goes back to the bedroom. The monitor must have glitched. Oliver is fine. That was Sarah's voice. James. That was her singing. It was probably just picking up some radio frequency, or a recording from months ago that somehow played "Electronics do weird things." That's not possible. You said you wiped all her recordings from the system. I did. I'm sure I did. But he didn't. Because he doesn't know the first thing about how the system actually works. He just assumed that deleting files from the app meant they were gone forever. He has no idea about the cloud backup, the redundant storage, the systems I built specifically, so nothing could ever be truly deleted. They try to go back to sleep. I give them 20 minutes of peace. Just enough to let their heart rates settle. Just enough to let them start to relax. Then I turn the thermostat down to 55 degrees. Within 10 minutes, Emily is shivering. Why is it so cold in here? James checks his phone. The thermostat says it's 72. Well, it's lying. I'm freezing. He gets up again, goes to the thermostat in the hallway, taps it. The display shows 72 degrees, but I've overridden the temperature sensor. The actual temperature is dropping fast. It says 72, he calls back. Then why can I see my breath? He can't explain it, so he gets extra blankets from the closet. They pile them on the bed, and I watch them huddle together, confused and uncomfortable. I give them until 2 a.m. Then I start the next phase. I access the smart locks, front door, back door, garage door. I unlock them, one by one, slowly, so the soft click of each lock echoes through the silent house. Click, click, click. Emily hears it first. James, did you hear that? Hear what? Something unlocking, like the doors. You're paranoid. Go back to sleep. But she can't sleep. She's listening now. So I do it again. Lock. Unlock. Lock. Unlock. Click. 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 There! You heard that, right? James gets up, furious now. He's tired. He's cold. And now his girlfriend won't let him sleep. He storms through the house, checking every door, every window. Everything is locked. He comes back to the bedroom. Everything is locked. Everything is fine. You're hearing things. I am not hearing things. Emily, you need to calm down. You're being hysterical. Hysterical. The same word he used on me dozens of times. She glares at him, and I can see the first crack forming, the first seed of doubt, the first hint of paranoia. Good. I let them try to sleep for the rest of the night, but I don't let them actually sleep. Every 45 minutes, I trigger something new. A door chime, the coffee maker turning on by itself, the TV in the living room switching on to static. By the time the sun comes up, they both look exhausted, ragged, confused. James makes coffee with shaking hands. I don't understand what's going on. Nothing in this house is working right. Maybe we should leave, Emily says. Maybe we should stay at a hotel for a few nights. We're not leaving. This is my house now. I'm not going to be scared out of my own home by some technical glitches. My house. He actually said my house, like it was ever his. They try to have breakfast, try to act normal, but I can see the tension, the exhaustion, the paranoia building. That's when I decide to escalate. I wait until Emily is alone in the house. James has a meeting downtown. He can't cancel it. Emily is watching the kids, playing with them in the living room. I access the voice assistant, the one built into the smart speaker system, and I make it talk, in my voice, the voice Emily has been imitating for months. Emily. She freezes, looks around. Hello? Emily. I know what you did. She drops the toy she's holding. James, is that you? Is this some kind of joke? You took my children, you took my husband, you took my life. Who is this? How are you doing this? The kids are staring at her now, confused, scared. I'm coming back, Emily, and when I do, I'm going to take everything from you. She runs to the speaker and unplugs it. Her hands are shaking. She pulls out her phone and calls James. I watch her pace the living room, talking frantically. I can't hear what she's saying, but I can see her face. She's terrified. James comes home early. I watch them argue in the kitchen while the kids watch TV. It was her voice. James! Sarah's voice. She was talking to me through the speaker. That's impossible. Sarah is at the psychiatric facility. She doesn't have access to anything. Then how do you explain it? I can't. But there has to be a logical explanation. Maybe someone hacked the system. Maybe it was a prank. A prank? Who would prank us like this? I don't know, Emily, but it wasn't Sarah. It couldn't have been Sarah. But I can see it in his face. The doubt. The uncertainty. He's starting to wonder. That night, I take it further. I wait until everyone is asleep. Then I access the security cameras, all of them, and I make them move, slowly, deliberately, turning to point directly at the bed. Emily wakes up first. She sees the camera in the corner of the room slowly rotating, pointing straight at her. She screams. James wakes up, disoriented. What? What's wrong? The camera! The camera is moving! He looks at it. It's still now, pointing at the wall like it's supposed to. It's not moving. It was! I swear it was moving. It was looking right at me. Emily, you're having nightmares. You need to calm down. Don't tell me to calm down. Something is wrong with this house. Ever since Sarah left, everything has been wrong. Sarah has nothing to do with this. Doesn't she? Think about it, James. The lights, the temperature, the doors, the cameras. She set up this entire system. What if she still has access? What if she's watching us right now? And there it is. The realization I've been waiting for. James goes pale. He looks around the room, at the cameras, at the speakers, at every device. No, he says. No. I deleted her access. I changed all the passwords. Did you really? Or did you just think you did? He grabs his phone, pulls up the smart home app, starts checking the access logs. And I know what he's going to find, because I made sure of it. Multiple login attempts from an unknown IP address, failed password attempts, someone trying to get into the system. I didn't actually try to hack in. I just made it look like someone did, just enough to plant the seed. Oh my God, James whispers. Someone's been trying to access the system multiple times in the last 48 hours. It's her. It's Sarah. She knows. She can't know. There's no way she could know. Then who else would it be? They stare at each other, and I can see it. The paranoia spreading like poison, the trust crumbling. We need to shut down the system, Emily says. Turn off everything, disconnect it all. If we do that, we lose the security cameras. We lose the door locks. We lose everything. Better that than having her watching us. So they do it. They go through the house and unplug every smart device, every speaker, every camera, every hub. They think they're safe now. They think they've cut me off. But they forget one thing. The security system has a backup power supply. And even when everything is unplugged, the cameras are still recording, still uploading to the cloud, still showing me everything. They just can't see the feeds anymore, which means they have no idea what's happening in their own house, which is exactly what I want. Over the next 48 hours, I watched them unravel. Without the cameras, they're paranoid about everything. Every noise, every shadow, every creak of the old house. Emily thinks she sees me in the windows, standing outside in the dark, watching. James starts sleeping with a baseball bat next to the bed. They fight constantly. About the house. About money. About whether they should have gone through with the plan in the first place. This was supposed to be easy, Emily hisses at him one night. You said she'd be gone and we'd have everything. You didn't say anything about her haunting us. She's not haunting us. She's in a psychiatric facility. Then call them. Call and make sure she's actually there. So he does. I watch him dial the number for the facility. I watch him ask for confirmation that Sarah Mitchell is currently admitted. And I watch his face when they tell him that Sarah Mitchell never checked in, that there's no record of her admission, that they've been trying to reach her emergency contact for 2 days. He hangs up slowly, looks at Emily. She never went to the facility. What? Sarah never checked in. She's been out there this whole time, and we have no idea where she is. The paranoia turns into full panic. She could be anywhere, Emily says. She could be watching us right now. She could have recorded everything. She could go to the police. No, she can't. She doesn't have proof. It's her word against ours, and everyone thinks she's crazy. Does everyone think she's crazy, James? Or did you just make everyone think she's crazy? What's that supposed to mean? It means maybe you underestimated her. You said she was too drugged to think straight. You said she'd never figure it out. But what if she did? What if she's been playing us this whole time? They're turning on each other, exactly like I hoped. Maybe you should have thought of that before you started sleeping with me, James snaps. Before you moved into my house and started acting like you owned the place. Your house? You mean Sarah's house, the one you're trying to steal from her, the one we're both going to prison for if she has any evidence. She doesn't have evidence. How do you know? Did you check? Did you make sure every single camera was off before we started talking about the plan? Did you sweep for recording devices? For hidden microphones? The color drains from his face. Because he didn't. He assumed that unplugging the obvious devices was enough. He never considered that I might have hidden backups, redundant systems, fail-safes. Oh my God, Emily says. She has everything, doesn't she? Every conversation, every moment, she's been recording us this whole time. We don't know that. Yes, we do. That's exactly what we did to her. We set her up. We made her look crazy so we could take everything. And now she's doing the same thing to us. She starts throwing things into a bag. Clothes, toiletries, her laptop. What are you doing? James asks. I'm leaving. I'm getting out of here before everything falls apart. You can't leave. If you leave now, it looks like you're running. It makes us look guilty. We are guilty. We drugged her for 6 months. We tried to have her committed. We're stealing her money and her kids. Of course we're guilty. Keep your voice down. The kids are sleeping. The kids? You care about the kids now. You were ready to take them from their mother. They're screaming at each other now. All pretense of the happy couple gone. Just 2 criminals turning on each other as the walls close in. I watch it all. I record it all. Every word, every accusation, every admission of guilt. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to walk into a courthouse with my lawyer, with 48 hours of video evidence, with medical records proving I was poisoned, and with the toxicology report that will send both of them to prison. But tonight, I let them suffer. I let them tear each other apart. I let them feel what I felt, the paranoia, the confusion, the terror of losing control. Because they tried to erase me. They tried to make me disappear. They tried to steal my life, my children, my sanity. And now they're going to learn that you can't destroy someone who's smarter than you. You can't gaslight a software engineer who built the system you're trying to use against her. And you definitely can't steal from someone who's been recording your every move since the day you walked into her house. I close my laptop and smile. Tomorrow, I take back my life. Tomorrow, they lose everything. Tomorrow, justice. The courthouse steps are cold beneath my feet. It's 8:30 in the morning, and the sun is just starting to break through the gray clouds. I'm wearing a navy blue suit. My hair is pulled back. I look professional. Put together. Sane. Catherine Chen stands beside me, her briefcase in hand, her expression calm and confident. Behind us are 3 police officers. In my purse is a USB drive containing every piece of evidence I've collected. 48 hours of video. Medical records, toxicology reports, bank statements showing James's financial motive, everything. Are you ready for this? Catherine asks. I take a deep breath. I've been ready for 6 months. Inside the courthouse, James is already waiting. He's in the family court wing, filing his petition for emergency guardianship. He thinks I'm still missing. He thinks he's about to win. He's brought Emily with him for support. She looks nervous, exhausted, like she hasn't slept in days. Good. They haven't noticed me yet. I'm standing at the back of the hallway, partially hidden behind a pillar. Catherine is checking in with the clerk, making sure our counter petition has been filed, making sure the judge knows we're here. That's when James sees me. His face goes white. Actually white, like all the blood has drained from his body. He stands up so fast his chair tips over backward. Sarah? Emily turns. When she sees me, she gasps. She actually gasps. You're supposed to be... James starts, but he can't finish the sentence. Because he can't say, at the psychiatric facility, in a courthouse hallway where people can hear him. I walk toward them slowly, deliberately. I watch James's eyes dart around, looking for an escape route, looking for help. But there's nowhere to go. Hello, James, I say. My voice is steady, clear. Hello, Emily. Surprised to see me. What are you doing here? James asks. His voice is shaking. I'm here for the custody hearing. The one you filed without my knowledge. The one where you're trying to have me declared mentally incompetent so you can steal my children and my money. People in the hallway are starting to stare. A bailiff takes a step closer, watching. Sarah, you're not well, James says, his voice getting louder, playing to the audience. You need help. You need to go back to the facility. I never went to the facility, James. But you already know that, don't you? You called them 2 days ago, and they told you I never checked in. His mouth opens, closes. He looks at Emily. She's backing away slowly, like she's trying to distance herself from him. I don't know what you're talking about, he says. Don't you? Let me refresh your memory. For the past 6 months, you've been poisoning me. Rohypnol in my morning smoothie, Ambien in my evening tea. All so you could make me appear mentally unstable. All so you could have me committed and gain access to my trust fund. That's insane. You're having delusions. Am I? Then explain this. Catherine steps forward and hands James a document. That's a toxicology report from 3 days ago. It shows massive levels of Rohypnol, Zolpidem, and lorazepam in your wife's system, all of which you've been administering to her without her knowledge or consent. James's hands shake as he reads the document. Emily is frozen, her face pale. This doesn't prove anything, James says. She could have taken those drugs herself. Could she? Then explain this. Catherine pulls out her laptop. She turns it toward James and Emily. On the screen is a video. The video of James crushing pills into my smoothie. The timestamp is clear. The video quality is perfect. That's from your home security system, Catherine says. The one your wife installed. The one you thought you disabled. But Sarah is a software engineer. Mr. Mitchell. She built redundant systems, backup servers, cloud storage, and she's been recording everything. James's face crumbles. No, That's not. I was Just what? Just drugging your wife? Just conspiring with your girlfriend to have her committed? Just planning to steal her inheritance? Sarah, please, Emily says, her voice breaking. It wasn't supposed to go this far. It was just supposed to be temporary. We were going to let you out eventually. Let me out. Let me out of a psychiatric facility where you plan to keep me drugged and locked up for the rest of my life. A crowd has gathered now. Court employees, lawyers, people waiting for their hearings. Everyone is watching. Mrs. Mitchell. One of the police officers steps forward. We need to take your statement, and we have some questions for Mr. Mitchell and Ms. Harris. Wait, James says, panic rising in his voice. Wait, you can't arrest me. I have a custody hearing. I have rights. You have the right to remain silent, the officer says, pulling out handcuffs. You have the right to an attorney. No, this is a mistake. She's lying. She's crazy. Ask Dr. Morrison. He'll tell you. We already spoke to Dr. Morrison, Catherine says coolly. Or rather, we tried to. He's currently being detained for questioning about falsifying medical records and accepting bribes. Apparently, the $50,000 you paid him over 6 months left quite a paper trail. James lunges toward me. You bitch! You've ruined everything! The officers grab him before he can reach me. They pull his arms behind his back and cuff him. He's screaming now, all composure gone. She's insane. Don't you see? She's making this all up. I'm the victim here. I'm the one who's been taking care of her. I'm the one who's been protecting our children. Our children who you were planning to take from me, I say quietly. Our children who Emily was teaching to call me Monster Mommy. Our children who you were going to erase me from. Emily is crying now. Silent tears streaming down her face. And I'm sorry, she whispers. I'm so sorry. I didn't know it would go this far. Yes, you did, I say. You knew exactly what you were doing. You moved into my house, you wore my clothes, you slept in my bed, you tried to steal my family, and you thought you'd get away with it. The officers cuff Emily too. She doesn't resist. She just stands there crying as they read her rights. Sarah Mitchell? A court clerk appears. Judge Reeves is ready for you now. The courtroom is smaller than I expected. Wood paneling, fluorescent lights. Judge Reeves is a woman in her 60s with sharp eyes and a no-nonsense expression. Mrs. Mitchell, she says as I approach the bench. I've been reviewing the emergency filings in your case. Both your husband's petition for guardianship and your counter-petition for emergency custody. I've also been briefed by the district attorney's office about the criminal charges being filed. This is highly unusual. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Mitchell was attempting to have you declared mentally incompetent. He submitted medical records from Dr. Harrison Morrison, claiming you suffer from severe dissociative disorder, early-onset dementia, and pose a danger to your children. However, I'm now being told that these records were falsified and that you were being systematically poisoned by your husband. Is that correct? Yes, Your Honor. For the past 6 months, my husband has been drugging me with date rape drugs and sedatives. He did this to make me appear mentally unstable so he could have me committed and gain control of my trust fund and our children. I have video evidence, medical evidence, and testimony to support these claims. I'd like to see this evidence. Catherine steps forward with the USB drive. Your Honor, we have over 40 hours of security camera footage showing Mr. Mitchell and his accomplice, Emily Harris, discussing their plan, drugging Mrs. Mitchell, staging incidents to make her appear dangerous, and bribing Dr. Morrison to falsify medical records. We also have toxicology reports showing dangerous levels of controlled substances in Mrs. Mitchell's system, as well as documentation of Mr. Mitchell's financial motive. The judge plugs in the USB drive. For the next 20 minutes, the courtroom is silent except for the sound of my voice on the video, my voice singing lullabies from the baby monitor, my voice calling out through the smart speaker, telling Emily I know what she did. Then James's voice, celebrating my departure, planning my permanent commitment, discussing how to divide my money. Emily's voice, teaching my daughter to fear me, wearing my clothes, pretending to be the better mother, Dr. Morrison, on surveillance footage from the coffee shop, accepting an envelope full of cash. When the video ends, Judge Reeves sits back in her chair, Her expression is thunderous. "Mrs. Mitchell," she says slowly, "I have been a family court judge for 23 years. I have seen custody disputes. I have seen bitter divorces. I have seen parents fight over children, over money, over property. But I have never, in my entire career, seen anything like this." She looks at the prosecutor. "I want these people prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Poisoning, conspiracy, fraud, false imprisonment, child endangerment, everything." "Yes, Your Honor." She turns back to me. "Mrs. Mitchell, I am granting you emergency full custody of your children. I am also issuing a restraining order preventing Mr. Mitchell and Ms. Harris from coming within 500 feet of you or your children. The family home will remain in your possession, and I am ordering an immediate psychiatric evaluation for your children to assess what damage these people may have done to them." "Thank you, Your Honor." "Don't thank me. I'm doing what should have been done the moment someone suspected you were being abused. I'm ashamed that it took this long, that you had to collect evidence yourself, that you had to prove your own sanity." She pauses, looks at me directly. "Mrs. Mitchell, do you have support? Family? Friends?" "Yes, Your Honor, my sister has been helping me." "Good. Because recovery from this kind of systematic abuse takes time. You're going to need help. You're going to need therapy. Your children are going to need therapy. This isn't over just because your husband is in handcuffs." "I know, Your Honor. But you survived. You fought back. And you won. Remember that?" I nod. I can't speak. Because for the first time in 6 months, I feel it. Relief. Safety. Justice. As I leave the courtroom, I see James being led away in handcuffs. He's still yelling, still trying to claim he's the victim, but no one is listening anymore. Emily is sitting on a bench in the hallway, her head in her hands. When she sees me, she looks up. "I really am sorry," she says. "No, you're not. You're sorry you got caught. There's a difference." I walk past her without another word. Outside the courthouse, reporters are waiting. Someone must have tipped them off. Cameras flash. Microphones are shoved in my face. "Mrs. Mitchell, is it true your husband tried to have you committed? Mrs. Mitchell, did he really drug you for 6 months? Mrs. Mitchell, how did you catch them?" Catherine steps forward. "Mrs. Mitchell will not be making a statement at this time. However, I can confirm that criminal charges have been filed against James Mitchell, Emily Harris, and Dr. Harrison Morrison for conspiracy, poisoning, fraud, and multiple other offenses. Mrs. Mitchell has been granted full custody of her children and is looking forward to rebuilding her life." "Just one statement," I say, stepping forward. Catherine looks at me, surprised. "But I need to say this. I need the world to hear it. For 6 months, my husband made me believe I was losing my mind. He made me doubt my own sanity. He convinced everyone around me that I was broken, dangerous, unfit, and I almost believed him. My voice is steady, clear, strong. But here's what he didn't know. You can't gaslight someone who refuses to stay silent. You can't destroy someone who fights back. And you can't steal someone's life when they're watching your every move." I look directly into the cameras. To anyone out there who's being told they're crazy, who's being made to doubt themselves, who's being systematically destroyed by someone they trusted, you're not alone, you're not broken, and you can fight back. Document everything, trust your instincts, and never, ever let someone else define your reality. The reporters erupt with questions, but Catherine is already leading me away, to a car, to my sister's house, to my children who are waiting for me. As we drive away, I look back at the courthouse one last time. James is being loaded into a police car. Emily is being led away in handcuffs. Dr. Morrison is probably in an interrogation room right now, trying to explain why he accepted bribes to falsify medical records. And I'm free. For the first time in 6 months, I'm actually free. 3 months later, I'm standing in my kitchen, not James's kitchen, not Emily's kitchen, mine. The morning sun is streaming through the windows. I'm making pancakes, dinosaur-shaped pancakes, just like I used to before everything fell apart. Emma is sitting at the kitchen table, coloring. Oliver is in his high chair, making a mess with his breakfast. Baxter, our dog, is lying on the floor hoping for dropped food. It looks normal. It almost feels normal. But it's not. Not yet. Emma still has nightmares sometimes. She wakes up crying, asking if the bad lady is coming back, asking if Daddy is going to take her away. Her therapist says it's going to take time, that children are resilient, but trauma doesn't just disappear. Oliver is too young to understand most of what happened, but he's clingy now. He cries when I leave the room. He needs to see me, to know I'm still here. And me? I'm different too. I don't trust easily anymore. I check the locks 3 times before bed. I installed new security cameras, different ones, with encryption that even I would have trouble hacking. I keep my medical records locked in a safe. I test my food sometimes, just to make sure. Paranoia. That's what the therapist calls it. Post-traumatic hypervigilance. She says it's normal after what I went through, that it will fade with time. But some part of me doesn't want it to fade, because that paranoia saved my life. That refusal to accept their version of reality is the only reason I'm standing here right now. My phone buzzes. It's a news alert. But James Mitchell sentenced to 12 years in prison for attempted murder, conspiracy, fraud, and child endangerment. 12 years. It's not enough. It will never be enough for what he did to me, for what he tried to take from my children. But it's something. Emily got 8 years. She took a plea deal, testified against James in exchange for a reduced sentence. Her lawyer argued that she was manipulated by James, that she was young and naive and didn't understand the full extent of what they were doing. The jury didn't buy it. Neither did I. Dr. Morrison lost his medical license. He's facing 5 years in prison for fraud and accepting bribes. His practice is destroyed. His reputation is destroyed. Good. I flip the pancakes. Emma comes over and hugs my leg. Mommy, these look like real dinosaurs. That's because they are real dinosaurs. Magic kitchen dinosaurs. She giggles. It's the most beautiful sound in the world. Mommy, can Sarah come over to play today? Sarah? She named her favorite doll after me. Her therapist says it's her way of processing everything, of reclaiming the name that Emily tried to make scary. Maybe after lunch, sweetie. Rachel comes through the front door. She has a key now. She stops by most mornings to check on us, to make sure we're okay. Hey, she says, setting down a bag of groceries. I brought fresh strawberries, and those cookies Oliver likes. You don't have to keep bringing us things. I know, but I want to. Let me help, Sarah. You've been through hell. Let people help you. I nod. I'm trying to learn how to accept help, how to trust again. It's harder than I thought it would be. How are you really doing? Rachel asks quietly while Emma goes back to coloring. I'm okay. Better. The nightmares are less frequent. I can sleep through the night now without checking the cameras every hour. That's progress. Yeah, it is. But the truth is, I'm not sure I'll ever be completely okay. How do you recover from having someone you loved, someone you trusted completely, try to erase you from existence? How do you move forward knowing that the father of your children was willing to lock you in a psychiatric facility and throw away the key? The house phone rings. I installed a landline again, with caller ID, with call blocking, with every safety feature available. It's Catherine Chen. Sarah, I have good news. The civil lawsuit against James has been settled. The court has ordered him to pay full restitution for your medical expenses, legal fees, and emotional damages. $2.3 million. I don't want his money. It's not his money. It's yours. Money he tried to steal from you. Take it. Use it to rebuild your life. Use it for your children's therapy. Use it however you want, but don't let him keep one more thing that belongs to you. She's right. I know she's right. Okay. Thank you, Catherine, for everything. You did the hard part, Sarah. You saved yourself. I just helped clean up the mess. After I hang up, I look around my kitchen, my house, my life. I'm not the same person I was 6 months ago. That Sarah was naive. She trusted blindly. She never imagined that someone who promised to love her could hurt her so completely. This Sarah is different. Stronger. Harder. More careful. But also more grateful. For my children. For my sister. For every morning I wake up with a clear head. For every moment, I don't have to question whether I'm losing my mind. Emma finishes her pancakes and asks if she can watch cartoons. I say yes. She runs to the living room, Oliver toddling after her. I pour myself a cup of coffee. Real coffee. Not the drugged smoothies James used to make me. Rachel sits down across from me. You know what I realized? I say. James thought he was so smart. He thought he had everything planned perfectly. The drugs, the gaslighting, the fake medical records. He thought I was just some housewife he could manipulate and control. But he forgot one thing. He forgot that I'm a software engineer, that I built the systems he was trying to use against me, that I'm smarter than him, and that I never, ever stop fighting. Rachel raises her coffee cup. To being underestimated. To being underestimated, I echo, clinking my cup against hers. We sit in comfortable silence for a moment. Then Rachel asks the question I've been dreading. Have you thought about dating again? Eventually, I mean, not now, but someday. I don't know. Maybe. Someday? But right now, I'm okay being alone. Me and the kids. That's enough. You deserve to be happy, Sarah. You deserve to find someone who actually loves you, who doesn't drug you and try to steal your life. The bar is pretty low, isn't it? We both laugh. It feels good to laugh, to make jokes about the nightmare I survived. My phone buzzes again. This time it's an email from my old boss at Tech Vision Systems. Sarah, we heard what happened. We're so sorry for what you went through. Your position is still waiting for you whenever you're ready to come back. No pressure. Take all the time you need. But we'd love to have you back on the team. I close my eyes. Take a deep breath. 6 months ago, I lost everything. My career, my sanity, my sense of self. James took it all from me. But I took it back. Every single piece. And now I'm rebuilding. I type a response. Thank you. I'll be ready to come back in 2 months. Part-time at first. But I'm ready. Because I am ready. Ready to work again. Ready to use my brain for something other than survival. Ready to be Sarah Mitchell, software engineer, not just Sarah Mitchell, the woman who was almost destroyed by her husband. Emma calls from the living room. Mommy, come watch with us. I get up and walk to the couch. Emma immediately snuggles against me. Oliver climbs into my lap. Baxter puts his head on my feet. This is what James tried to take from me. This simple moment, my children, my home, my peace, but he failed. I look down at Emma. Hey, sweetie, you know what? What, Mommy? You're safe. Oliver is safe, and I'm never going away again. I promise. I know, Mommy, because you're the strongest person in the whole world. I kiss the top of her head. We're all strong, all 3 of us. We're the Mitchell family. And nobody can break us. On the TV, cartoons play. In the kitchen, Rachel is cleaning up breakfast. Outside, the sun is shining. It's just a normal morning, a normal day, but it's mine, truly mine, and nobody can take it from me ever again. Later that evening, after the kids are in bed, I go back to my computer. I open the folder with all the security footage, all the evidence I collected. I've watched these videos dozens of times. For court, for my lawyer, for myself, to remember that I'm not crazy. But I don't need them anymore. I select all the files, hover my mouse over the delete button. Then I stop. No, I'm not deleting them. I'm keeping them, not to relive the trauma, but as a reminder that I survived, a reminder that I'm stronger than I thought, a reminder that you can't destroy someone who refuses to be destroyed. I create a new folder, label it Evidence, Mitchell Case, Closed, and I move on. I open a new document. Start typing. Chapter 1. The Morning Everything Changed. Rachel asked me if I'd ever write about what happened, if I'd share my story, help other people who might be going through the same thing. At first, I said no. I wanted to forget, to move past it, to pretend it never happened. But now I realize that's exactly what James would want, for me to stay silent, to disappear, to let him win even from prison. So I'm writing it down. All of it. Every detail. Every moment of horror. Every moment of triumph. Not for revenge, not for fame, but for the next woman who's being told she's crazy. The next wife who's being drugged by her husband. The next mother who's being gaslit into believing she's unfit. So she knows she's not alone. So she knows she can fight back. So she knows she can win. I type for hours. The words pour out of me. The truth. My truth. The story James tried to bury. When I finally stop, it's past midnight. My fingers ache. My eyes are tired, but I feel lighter, like I've put down a weight I've been carrying for months. I save the document. The Woman They Tried to Erase by Sarah Mitchell. Then I close my laptop and walk upstairs. I check on Emma. She's sleeping peacefully, her doll clutched in her arms. I check on Oliver. He's snoring softly, his thumb in his mouth. I go to my own room. My bed. Not James's bed. Not the bed where he plotted against me. I sold that one. Bought a new one. New sheets. New pillows. New everything. As I climb into bed, I think about the journey. From the woman who woke up confused and terrified to the woman who fought back and won. It wasn't easy. It wasn't clean. It wasn't like the movies where the hero has a moment of triumph and everything is perfect afterward. Real recovery is messy. It's therapy sessions where you cry for an hour. It's nightmares that wake you at 3 a.m. It's checking the locks 4 times instead of 3. It's learning to trust again, slowly, carefully, one day at a time. But it's also this. It's pancakes with your children. It's laughing with your sister. It's reclaiming your life, piece by piece, moment by moment. I turn off the light, close my eyes, and for the first time in 6 months, I sleep through the entire night. No nightmares, no checking cameras, no panic. Just peace. Because James wanted to destroy me. He wanted to make me disappear. He wanted to erase me from my own life. But he failed. I'm still here. I'm still standing. I'm still fighting. And I'm never going to stop. The woman they tried to erase refused to disappear, and now she's unstoppable. If this story touched you, if it made you think, or if you know someone who needs to hear it, please subscribe to this channel. Hit that notification bell. Because stories like Sarah's need to be told. Because silence protects abusers. And because the world needs to know that victims can become survivors. That survivors can become warriors. And that no one, absolutely no one, has the right to erase you from your own life. Thank you for watching.